So I think it probably happens naturally that we ended up talking about, like, every mom isn't going to say, or even your daughter, the fact that she talks about the energy or whatever. Like most kids at 21 aren't going to have that conversation. And that's probably because she was raised by a therapist. Like that's just probably the language that you use, right?
Yeah, unintentionally. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I think about even the things that my daughter at 16 says, and I think to myself, like, that's just as a result of her being raised by me and how I think and the things that I say around her that other 16-year-olds probably aren't even good or bad, aren't going to even, like, it bites me in the butt sometimes. Right. Like you raised a 21-year-old, you might be thinking like, oh, I wish he'd just go do what the other kids do, like be in college right now. But because you raise somebody to think that way, she's like, I need to think about energy. And you're like, girl, you know I got energy. Go get a job.
Go make it happen.
It's a blessing and a curse. I'm like, why can't you just go out here and do bald-headed?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm playing, but then again, I'm not. But I'm very blessed. I'm excited for her. And one thing that I make sure that I don't do is try to push her in a certain route. Because I don't want to be the blame. Well, you told me to do this. Well, you told me to do that. So I'm letting her explore.
And that's great.
Yeah.
So, Miss Letting Her Explore.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for saying yes. And one thing we need to know is who and where are you, right? And then also who do you serve?
Awesome. So my name is Lashana West. I am a business therapist and mindset coach. And you might be like, business therapist, what is that? I'm so glad you asked. So if you've ever worked with a therapist and they helped you with unresolved trauma, they helped you maybe even with the bad breakup, fear, worry, doubt, and maybe you've worked with a business coach. They helped you with the messaging, the marketing, and all that good jazz. I'm the best of both worlds. Hit the Jay-Z song, Best of Both. Okay, maybe y'all didn't get that.
I had to think about it. I was like, which Jay-Z song?
I was like, come in, baby. I was a bad
The Jay-Z and R. Kelly song that they took off the charts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so literally I help you pinpoint what the blocks are that are stopping you from living the life you crave and ultimately making more money.
Okay, I gotta ask a question. It's like, so do you come from a musically?
Because
everything she does,
and I'm good at that.
Have a soundtrack.
I might go on a tangent. I might see a squirrel and be like, whoop, you feel me? But yeah, in short, I think that we all have a gift, and I'm like that cheerleader and that extra push that helps you to overcome imposter syndrome so you can do what you're truly called to do and not what you think that you should be doing.
And you absolutely do it. I follow you. I've been following you probably since the Clubhouse days. So it's about 2 years ago at least. When I tell you, like, me seeing one of your reels and you are just bust out in just anything that is anything. You just gonna bust out, right? Yeah. You have one that your birthday's coming up, and you have this one that I just died laughing about when you were like saying I'm coming to be 41 or whatever, and baby, like the whole reel, you got to go check it out.
Yeah, okay.
But it does. Even through that is a gift, and you do inspire me. Like, inspire me to want to come out and like just be my most authentic self. So
yeah, and you know what's interesting? I realized that the funny off the cuff ones are more in alignment with what people need than the whole 3 ways to da-da-da. If you're struggling with da-da-da, don't nobody care about that. Right? They want to see your true authentic self, and I did that yesterday. We had an event. I was at my space and I said, let me do a quick reel. And then I'm looking at the insights. I'm like, this what y'all want?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. Because that's the easy stuff. I think we're tired of the stuffy textbook things because we want to have fun, but we also want to learn and grow.
Right.
Or either we're tired of, it's either one or two things when I think about, it is social media. And so social media does decide what they're going to put out there.
Right.
So it's either we're tired of it or that's what social media is putting in front of us. Like that's what they have decided they're going to put in front of us. So it's like when we are watching TV and it's like, well, everybody loves this. Does everybody really love this? Or is this all that they're putting in front of us?
That's a really good point.
But then you really have to stop and ask yourself, when I'm scrolling through on social media, through social media, what do I stop and like really pay attention to?
Yeah.
But it depends on where I am at that point in time in my life or a point in time in the day or whatever. So if I need a little pick me up and I need to be inspired, it's going to be something more funny or something that's just a little bit more laid back.
Yeah.
But if I need to have my, like on the way here, okay, guess what I was listening to? Eric Thomas, and he was talking some hard stuff because at this point in my life, it's time for me to show up, right? It's time for me to show up and I need to hear this. And so that type of content is going to be on replays, like those hard talks that your father would have given you, those hard talks that your coach would have given you. Like that is what I need right now. I don't need the play.
So she's sitting in your
job for literally understanding what you need right now. And then we would get to the root cause of why she needs that, right? And most times it stems from unresolved childhood trauma. It stems from past relationships that may not have went the way that we wanted them to. And we drag that old baggage into current, but we have to realize we're no longer the little girl. We're no feel. Oh, you want to go ahead?
No.
So it's interesting. It's okay to be tired. I think the problem arises when I'm tired. I still got to go. Sometimes you don't have to go. Sometimes you need to rest so you can be still and listen. I literally did a reel this morning about us not feeling in our zone right now, feeling weird. And when God, whoever you believe in, when he talks to us, we have to listen because he's telling us exactly what we need. Number one, we already have what we need, but we think we need more.
Right.
Sometimes we need less. Sometimes instead of saying yes, 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 it's no, 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 no.
There you go.
See, rest where?
Right. And that's, so this is the thing. I love humor. I love music. So you're going to get all of me and you're going to also get the learning in between.
Right.
And so the reason why I'm sharing this, and this is the thing, I say coaches get the double dip. As I'm sitting here talking to y'all, I'm literally going through the same thing. So that's why I can say it so passionately and so assertively because number one, I'm going through it. And I believe that if we listen to ourselves, we can literally get to where we want to be. Right. So in short, because I know I'm going on the whole Tyler Perry movie.
No. Not a TV movie.
Right? You told hot folk. That ain't even Tyler Perry. Dulu. Bring us back. Look, I'm about to ask y'all, are y'all excited about the new color purple, but I'm gonna stay in alignment to what we talk about. I told y'all.
Or go left. We go left.
Right?
We go right.
I cannot wait.
I don't know.
I haven't even.
One thing about me and old movies like that is sometimes just leave the movie. What's the Coming to America? How was you feeling? No, I hated that.
Really?
I hated that movie. It just wasn't because I understand. I just say sometimes just leave things how they are and just let us have that to go back to.
I'm optimistic that it's gonna be lit. Okay, I'm about to do a whole group. Hey, we pulling up to the movie theater.
Who's playing Celie? I don't even know who's playing Celie.
Girl, I think it's Hallie.
Oh, no, I really can't get into it.
I was confused on that. I think it's Hallie. Don't quote me on that.
She's probably going to come in and show her other side. Like, people need to be able to share. She's like, no, show what they're capable of. And she might be capable of that character, and we can't see her in it because she hasn't done it. But that broadens her paycheck if she can come on the screen and show she has another side to her.
Yeah, she's one of them. Don't quote me that it's Hallie. She's one of the sisters.
Okay.
But
it may be Fantasia. No,
Fantasia's not playing that.
She can give those facial expressions. I can see that a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm about to start singing one of her songs. But what I wanted to say was, I think we got to start doing less. Mm-hmm. We think that doing all the things and launching and podcasts and all the things is what people want. They don't. Mm-hmm. They want to know, how can you help them? What's in it for me? And how does your story align with mine? Mm-hmm. In my opinion, that's easier than doing all the things, right? Mm-hmm. So we just, in my opinion, less is best. And once we understand that, it makes everybody happy.
Okay. So I have a question about when she was saying what she said. You said you were going to go with praise and you didn't use the word praise. Praise and empathy, right? Praise and empathy first. And then you said the next part after praise and empathy was because most things come from childhood traumas. Mm-hmm. And so my question when it comes to childhood traumas is, at what point do you stop trying to fix the childhood trauma if it's working for you? Like, if the childhood trauma is what has her listening to Eric Thomas and that fuels her to be successful, does she really need to fix that?
Right. So I'm not saying fix it. I'm saying readjust your mindset about how you see it.
Gotcha.
Because I believe that everything happens for us, not to us.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there's a book by Dr. Bruce Perry and Oprah. It's called What Happened to You. Mm-hmm. I have the book. I crossed out the word to and I wrote for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is how we're resilient. That's how we're even able to go down the ET route and the all of the self-development route because of what we've been through. But when we have the victim mentality, I'm not saying you do.
No,
I'm not saying you do. Mm-hmm. Oh, this happened to me. My mama did this, That's when it becomes a problem. So I just make sure that we level set and we look at it in an optimistic way instead of a negative.
Okay, I like that. I mean, that's literally
great question.
The way that I look at things is like, okay, you and everybody else had that problem, but what are you going to do with it? Like, use that to go ahead. Use that to be a testimony to others that in spite of I'm doing this, not I can't do that because, this happened to me.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I do the work that I do. Mm-hmm. Number one, with being a therapist, I'm patient and empathetic enough to know that everybody's not where you are thinking they should be. And so I hold their hand and help them get to that other side, no matter how long it takes. One person, it takes a month. Another person, it might take 2 years. Right. But regardless, it's their journey.
Now, how do you help somebody because I totally agree. One person's going to take 1 month. One person's going to take 2 years. Some people it takes 5. How do you help the person who is going to take 2 years, but they think they should have it done in 1 month? Mm-hmm. Like, do you see that? I guess, do you see that?
Yeah, for sure. Helping them to be realistic.
Yeah, yeah.
And helping them to see that, okay, you're comparing yourself to Keisha. You don't know Keisha's story, and you don't even know if what Keisha's showing you there.
Right.
So that's that mindset shift and get into the nitty gritty, because a lot of us have unrealistic expectations on what we see, and we already know we see highlight reels. Mm-hmm. What we see is not even real. For example, what y'all see here, look at the background, baby, please. Right. You feel me?
Right.
So and so with me being able to explain that, but also do it in a therapeutic way, that's how I set myself apart from everybody else.
And that's definitely because we were talking about, like, how did we come up with the name Convene Team, and how did we come up with the name Point Blank Period? And I was saying, like, because we're strategists, so we like to convene and meet with people and help them with the strategy. Right. Yeah. But then, like, the next step is to send them to the coach when they need somebody to help the strategy come to life. And so, like, when we give you the strategy and we say, well, this strategy is going to take you a month if you do this. And they come back in 30 days and like, well, I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. Well, you probably need to talk to a coach or a therapist because it is possible and it can be done, even taking into consideration, like, we're not comparing you to Akeisha. Based on what you telling us is your life, based on you telling us what you tell us is your time frame, based on all those things, you can get it done in a month. Now, we might tell somebody else on their time frame, their personality, all these things, it's going to take you 2 years. And based on all we know, we say it takes 30 days and you can't get it done. Well, then it's not a schedule. It's not a time. It's a childhood trauma. It's a you thing. Yeah. You take that to a therapist and let them help you with why you can't get this done, even though, like, your degree, your capabilities, your time and we looked at your schedule. So time is like all those things is not a problem. So then it must be a
you
thing.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And when I think about like all of the different things, you have multiple streams of income that you have in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they all fit. So I met you in person at your content creation studio.
Mm-hmm.
How
you're saying is that they're all in alignment,
right?
And because a lot of times you're like, oh my God, she's doing this, and this. But if it's in alignment, it's okay. It's an added.
Mm-hmm.
So I got tired of asking people to be at their table, honestly, right? And then secondly, I wanted a safe space for my clients to create, to build, and ultimately to make more money. So I was looking for a content space. My content space is called Pop Up and Create. Literally thought of the name in 3 seconds.
Right, I'm sure.
Because I don't overthink anything. If anybody is familiar with the DISC assessment, I'm a high D and a high I. So decision making, assertive with communication, that would be me. So thought of the name, literally found it. It needed some TLC, tender love and care for those that don't understand.
What's a song? I need a song.
Nah. When I think of TLC, I'm about to do the real TLC left eye. So why creep? Pay the least, none of that. But I didn't worry about what I couldn't do. I worried about what I knew I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary.
And I was there at the anniversary. It was so
yes,
super
you were.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you were. So that's why it came to be. And now it's just flourished.
Mm-hmm.
We've served so many people. Now we rent out our spaces permanently. So if you need, like, let's say you're a lash tech or a makeup artist and you need space. Right now, we have a couple available. We have a boutique owner. And she's also in PR. So what I'm seeing is we're giving me creating my own table help. Little hub, for sure.
And even some of the events that you've had there, people have done like sound bowl meditations and like confidence, events and just different things that will bring people together, to definitely going back to what you ultimately came here to do, which is to help people in their mindset and their, the ability for them to get out there and serve who they want to serve.
For sure. And that wasn't even planned. Indirectly, the events are all therapeutic, holistic, confidence building. Like, I don't be like, oh. And when people walk in, the statement that they make is, oh my God, the energy in here is so good. And so, I'm just excited about the growth of it, for sure.
So I heard that you were saying you just decided to just do it and basically figure it out along the way.
Yep.
So what have been some of your doing that, like, biggest roadblocks you've come into? Like, because it sounds great. It sounds great. Like, and it has turned out great. But this, I guess, would be like the transparency moment in that when you said people don't know the behind. So we hear this because somebody's watching this like, well, I'm just going to go for it too. And they expect the beautiful ending that you're currently experiencing. But what were some things that may have happened to you during that when you was like, maybe this wasn't a good idea, or maybe I should backtrack, or shoot, here come rent. We ain't got the, So what are some things that have happened and how did you get through some of those things so far? Because it's been a year. I guarantee some things have happened in a year.
For sure. So first of all, it's not a beautiful ending.
Okay.
Trials, tests, tribulations are currently still happening. And I'm happy to say that I'm 2.5 years clean from corporate.
Nice.
And look y'all dead in the face. Go on, clap. And so with that being said, if you think about it, climbing the corporate America ladder all your life, all my life, I had to fight. And then moving from there and just creating your own ecosystem is a shift all on its own. But some things that I had to do was be creative in the income streams. For example, at first it was a traditional content space. Now we have memberships. We also have content rooms that can be rented by the hour, by the day, and now permanently this is your space, like lock and key, right? In addition, building the community and partnering with other creatives, videographers, photographers, content creators, because I tell my staff every day the space is empty, we're losing out on impact and income.
Like, you can never get that day back. That's one thing about like spaces. Products are a little different because you can put a discount on the product and keep and move that inventory. When it comes to space, even parking space, anything that's just there, you're not going to be able to get that time back. So you have to maximize.
Exactly. So that's what I'm always thinking about. So I would say the struggle or the area of opportunity is continuously thinking about how to maximize the space. But then also now I realize, okay, I'll have my own VIP days there.
Right.
When I work with my coaching clients, I host my own events there. My daughter, she does sound bowl healing. So she's going to start doing it there. If she wants to do her master cosmetology license and do locks, she'll do it there. So what can we do here that we would pay somewhere else? And that's what I'm always thinking about. So you always have to be on your toes and always being open to be innovative.
Yeah. And so I like that idea, because we've talked about even one of our last episodes or previous episodes is the streams of income needing to be in alignment. And so you basically have just explained how, as a business therapist and coach, you are able to use that space. So now you don't have to go rent out somebody else's space when you want to do a VIP event. Like it's your space is there.
Right.
And then you don't have to, as you're meeting, because I know me, like if I was sitting, which I'm not a therapist, but if I was somebody sitting on my couch, they was like, so my dream. Or consulting with you for what their needs are.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly that.
Yeah.
We do content days. Let's say I'm working with a client and they graduate from my coaching, but now they're ready to create content and all that good jazz. They literally step up to the next level instead of me trying to find someone to link them with in regards to a referral. We don't have to do that because it's all in-house.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing that I know that you like are a powerhouse at is speaking. Like speaking to.
Yeah. So let's be clear. 90% of the speaking opportunities I pitch myself. Okay.
Oh, well, we need to get into that. Right. I need to figure out how to do that.
I pitch myself. And what I do is I look at the event area, make sure I get a pen and paper.
Right.
And I see what the gap is. And 99% of the time, the gap is my area of expertise. Oh, hit 6 figures in 6 intermittently between the accountability, the mindset shift. So I literally say, hey, my name is Lashana West. I'm a business therapist and mindset coach. I see your event is on XYZ date. I noticed you don't have an area of expertise in blah, blah, blah. I would love to serve your community because remember, this is not about me.
Right.
This is about them and their community.
Right.
Let me know if you have an opportunity for this. Some are paid and some are not.
Right.
But I will say I always get paid on the back end.
I was just about to say that. Like always, if you go to that event and you share the community that you already have, so like you share your LinkedIn or you share like LinkedIn, but your Linktree that has like, hey, if you want to follow me and they can follow you on Instagram and they see what you do, then that becomes a paid opportunity from the free opportunity.
Sure thing.
So
So it's not always about the money, and honestly, it's never about the money.
Right.
So do I speak for free? Sometimes yes. And if I don't, it doesn't really matter.
But the other part to that is I'm sure you have been asked to
confidence building, and overall getting out of your own way.
So how does someone who might be me book you?
Yeah. Would it be for yourself or your community?
It'd be for me.
Gotcha. Well, first of all, thank you for being vulnerable, because most people, even in their mind, when they're like, damn, I need her, they won't say it on a live podcast. But with you doing that, like, kudos to you. Give me a pound. We'll talk. You can book a complimentary clarity call. Just DM the word breakthrough on Instagram.
Yes.
No, but seriously, I would love to talk more to you. But my biggest thing to you guys is, because I heard you saying, we help them, and then if they need a coach, let's put me on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have me talk to them on the front end, so they are even more aware of what their blocks are, and they're even more ready to work with you guys.
Right.
And if they got to circle back, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm all about proactivity versus reactivity.
Right. You know, and that's big, because one of the biggest things, and I think on your podcast, when I was a guest there, you were asking me, like, what would I tell somebody? And my thing is your mind ready? Because nobody told me how I needed to shift and change within myself to be able to go along this entrepreneur journey.
Right.
Nobody ever said that to me. It wasn't until years into the journey when you at your lowest point sometimes, it's like, oh, wait, I'm falling apart. This is supposed to be helping me get to freedom, not keeping me in bondage and keeping me in jail. That's when I found out that I needed to do the inner work. So you're right. So coming in on the front end, I tell anybody, I'm like, if you've not gotten into yourself, you may need to do that first.
Yeah.
Ain't no made to it, boo-boo.
Yeah.
You need to do that first.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, y'all. And I was talking to you about it earlier. People sneak in the mindset. And one coach I was working with, she was like, people don't believe they have mindset. That they don't know they got mindset problems. Well, why are we okay with that? Right? We're going to drag them in with make 10K in 10 days and be a millionaire at XYZ, but then they can't even finish and do the work, which impacts your overall
success rate
of your program, high turnover. It's a problem.
Well,
like, don't have me going on a tangent.
Well, think about it too, especially in our community, the community that we serve.
Yeah.
And then also women. Okay, so we serve women, and just because we're Black, the majority of our community is gonna be Black, I'm sure. But overcome, because you got to think about it, like, other communities, they necessarily didn't have everybody had things that they had to overcome, but it's what was it that you had to overcome? Like most of the times, we're the first millionaires in our family. We're the first people that are entrepreneurs in our family. So
especially full-time entrepreneurs, like I've known my family members to be hustlers and to have side things,
right? But
it's always played safe. Good job with a good career.
Benefits
like we've always been in our community a first generation person who's like, I saw you, like my parents were great at their side things, but they just never went full throttle with it. And then I did, and the thought process was like, my dad was like, I can't tell you. So he went to my husband. He was like, she ain't gonna listen to me. So tell her to stay at that. I was assistant principal for elementary school, like the career that you retire from, right? Yeah. And I was like, I'm out. And he was like, telling my husband, talk to her and tell her she need to stay. And I was like, nah. First of all, education will take me back yesterday.
Right.
I can always go back to teaching the school system. That's not a problem. But I definitely see what you're saying about the community piece and how we grew up.
We need it the most. And I feel like do you find that we're taking advantage of it the most? Like, do you find that, we're seeking you out when it comes to like our community?
Yeah, but it starts with awareness. Most people don't know that they need it or me the most. So by me showing up 25-8, that's a slang.
Oh, and you do.
Yeah.
Okay?
You do.
And it's all organic. I don't do ads or any of that, but I'm very persistent and consistent. I think it's just with my personality type, right?
Which I'm throwing that word in the trash. I've decided I'm throwing the word consistency in the trash, and I'm replacing it with discipline.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Because people consistently show up, like, because I'm an educator. I think of kids who don't miss a day of school. They bad. They're consistently there, but they never graduate at the top because they just show up and they feel like showing up is enough. But the honor roll kids are the ones who are disciplined.
Right.
You were disciplined with how you showed up.
Mhm.
So not half, like your Instagram, I know if I went to it, half of it ain't half-ass done.
Mm-mm.
It's disciplined approach. People gonna look at your timeline and see the same level of proactiveness, the same level of professionalism the whole time. Not consistent, not having 1,000 posts. Because somebody say, well, I post Instagram every day.
Right.
Yeah.
But it ain't a disciplined approach to posting. You're not the same across your image and branding. Consistency and decide that consistency on a 10x level is discipline.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. So immediately my brain went to, and this is just my therapist brain. You mentioned the kids that come every day, but they bad. So I'm looking at function of behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they bad?
Oh yeah.
What is going on?
Oh, there's
at
always
home?
a reason behind
right?
it. Yeah.
And then I'm looking at the for anyone who says, you know what, I know I'm doing this, but I know I could get better.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we get there, we can all win. But because I'm not throwing out consistent. And the reason why I'm not, and listen, and I had to say this, is because it's better than nothing.
Right.
So how do we move from nothing, consistent, discipline,
next level,
execution, activation, implementation?
I agree with that.
I can't stand the rain. Okay, I'll stop.
It's my window. We did not need to
I love it. Right. I love it. I love it.
And my tattoo showing like a mug, boy.
And it's popping. It's beautiful. So I know, we're getting close to the end, but we can go on about
Really?
this.
Already?
Bring your bag. And then it's Hennessy next time.
Oh,
but we can go on
player.
this all the time. Like,
y'all do that Hennessy, it's a done deal, player.
Hennessy it is. We're going to put you on the calendar.
We may have to bill her into these like one
Isn't
time.
there like a Hennessy and honey or something? Isn't there flavors to it now?
They have all
A
kinds of
peach
things.
Hennessy?
They have like other white Hennessy. That's
Which is
not what
actually
you
the
get.
worst Hennessy to drink. The reason it's not accepted here in America is because it's not fully developed Hennessy.
Come on
A little
now.
known fact.
And I don't
okay.
drink Hennessy, but my dad does. And when I was out of the country, that's when I realized, did a little lesson on it. And that the reason it's not sold here, because it's like wine. You know how wine has. That's why America doesn't carry
And
it.
we running to go get it? Okay,
But we don't know. We don't know. It's
And I've
literally,
never had it, but
it's
I'm like,
literally
I
like
keep
the
hearing about
coach
it. Right.
who doesn't have.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah,
hey,
let's do
that's
it.
what the people want.
Yeah.
This is what we not gonna do. This is what we. Oh my bad.
No. But this has been super insightful. Leave us with some last words of encouragement, like what you want the people to know that we didn't necessarily discuss in this particular setting.
Sure thing. So I think in short, every dream can be activated if you believe in it. Whether you want to start a podcast, whether you want to switch jobs, whether you want to leave corporate, whether you want to become a coach, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. But you're going to need a few things. Number one, support, accountability, community, and belief that it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
The question is when. A lot of people want to be a quote unquote millionaire, billionaire. The money's going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Money is energy. It's going to come. But I want you to be happy and fulfilled when it comes so you can enjoy it and not sacrificing yourself in the process just to get it. So that's what I would like to say. And I want to thank both of you guys
Thank you
for having me on the podcast. It's been a pleasure.
Where can we find you, baby? Because we can find you at all the places, but tell them where and how we can find you.
Sure. So you can find me on all things social at Lashana West. And then also, if you DM the word breakthrough on Instagram at Lashana West, you can have a link to book a complimentary clarity call to see if we're a good fit.
Yes. And as you can see, baby, she's a whole thing of fun. So fit is not going to be unless you don't like fun, then maybe not. But fit,
that's a good point. I'm the fun factor.
Yes. But follow us on all things social as well. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. We already know you love us. Like y'all been rocking with us all year. And if anybody is new, come along and join the fun. And then also like this particular episode and share it. We know you have some people out there that need to
a business therapist,
or just even know that they even need one. Again, it's more about the awareness. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Until the next time.
Bye.